The sun had just started to rise when Fatima Ouedraogo made her way to the bus station in Ouagadougou. She held her walking stick tightly, counting each step like she had done many times before. At 63, she had been blind for almost 20 years, but her other senses had grown stronger to help her. She could feel the dry morning air of Burkina Faso, smell the fresh bread from nearby stalls, and catch the strong scent of diesel from the old buses lined up. Fatima was going to visit her daughter in a nearby village, a trip she made every month, even though it wasn't easy for someone who couldn't see. Madame Fatima, called Moussa, the bus conductor she had known for years. His voice was warm and familiar. "Your usual seat is ready. Third row, right side, by the window." She smiled, her face bright with gratitude. "Thank you, my son. You always look after me so well." As she sat down, Fatima listened to the sounds around her, people getting on the bus, chatting quietly. Kids laughed while pressing their faces against the windows. Women fixed their colorful scarves, and men talked about the day ahead. The bus was old, its blue and yellow paint faded from the hot sun. Like many public buses in Burkina Faso, it had been through a lot but was still important for getting people from one place to another. The seats were worn but soft, and the dusty windows still gave glimpses of the passing scenery. Sitting near the back was Ibrahim Traoré, a young military officer dressed in normal clothes. At 34, he moved with quiet confidence, always watching the world around him. He had picked a seat at the back to keep a low profile during what he thought would be a simple trip. As the bus left the station, Fatima felt the same excitement she always did while traveling. She had learned to see the world through sound, touch, and feeling. Every journey brought something new, new sounds, new voices. The engine's hum and the bus's gentle rocking felt like a calm lullaby. The road led past the edge of Ouagadougou, through busy markets where sellers shouted out their goods, children played football in dusty fields, and women walked gracefully with huge loads on their heads. Fatima couldn't see these things, but she could hear life all around her, children laughing, goats bleating, and the beat of drums from a celebration nearby. About an hour into the trip, Fatima sensed something had changed in how the bus was moving. The engine sounded like it was working too hard, and a strange vibration shook the floor. Fatima felt it right away, her senses were sharp after years without sight. "Is something wrong?" she asked the young mother beside her. "I think we're fine, grandmother," the woman said kindly. "The driver seems in control." But toward the back of the bus, Ibrahim felt uneasy too. His army training taught him to notice small things. The engine's rhythm was off, and he caught a faint, burnt smell that didn't belong. The bus rolled through dusty villages of mud brick houses and tall baobab trees, scenery Fatima knew by heart, even without seeing it. Soon they reached a tiny roadside market where the bus always stopped so passengers could stretch, buy snacks, and so the driver could check the vehicle. Fatima stayed seated, crowded places were tricky for her. She listened as people stepped off, their voices fading toward the stalls. Ibrahim also stayed on board, looking over papers in his briefcase. Out the window, he watched the driver walk around the bus on his usual inspection, yet Ibrahim's uneasy feeling wouldn't fade. Then he saw it, a thin curl of smoke rising from beneath the bus. The driver spotted it at the same moment. "Driver!" Ibrahim called, his voice firm and clear. Smoke was coming from under the bus. The driver's face changed from worried to scared. He rushed to look, but in seconds the thin smoke turned into a thick cloud. Inside, Fatima felt the danger before she smelled it. The air around her grew hotter, too hot for early morning. Her sharp senses warned her faster than the other passengers still on board. "Something's wrong," she said. Her calm but firm voice caught the young mother sitting nearby with her sleeping baby. "What do you mean, grandmother?" the mother asked, looking around. Then the smell hit them both, sharp and bitter, like burning fuel and melting plastic. A short circuit had started a fire, and it was spreading fast. Outside, the driver shouted, "Fire! Fire! Everyone off the bus now!" Ibrahim was already on his feet. His army training took over. Smoke was leaking into the bus through the vents. "We have to get out now," he told the remaining passengers, his voice steady but urgent. "Move to the doors calmly." The young mother hurried forward with her crying baby. Two elderly men, half awake, fumbled for the aisle. But Fatima was in the most danger. She had stood up with her walking stick, yet she had no landmarks. Thick smoke filled the aisle, and heat pressed in on all sides. Voices told her to move, but she couldn't see where. "Help me," she called, still steady, though fear crept in. "I can't find the way." Ibrahim heard her and knew the risk. Others could see the doors, Fatima could not. The fire was racing through the old bus faster than anyone expected, and black smoke made it hard to breathe or see. "Everyone out, now," he repeated, pushing toward Fatima as the flames grew louder behind him. The driver stood outside, yelling for help. He had already led most people off the bus, but he didn't know a few passengers were still trapped inside, including the blind woman. Ibrahim made a quick choice. He could have run out, but instead he rushed toward Fatima. Smoke filled the aisle, stinging his eyes, and the heat grew fierce. "Madam, I'm here," he told her. "Hold my arm and we'll get out." They started forward, but the fire had reached the fuel lines. Now the bus could explode at any moment. Smoke was so thick Ibrahim could hardly see, and every breath felt like fire in his lungs. "I can't breathe," Fatima wheezed, her voice weak. Outside, the young mother clutched her baby and screamed, "The blind woman is still inside." Flames licked the seats at the back. Metal creaked in the intense heat. Ibrahim's eyes watered, his chest burned. Fatima squeezed his arm with all her strength. "Stay with me, madam," he said, forcing calm into his voice. "We're almost there." But thick, black smoke hid the doors. Ibrahim stepped forward blindly, hoping he was heading in the right direction. Each second felt longer than the last. He heard the crackle of burning fabric and the groan of the bus frame bending in the heat. "I can't breathe," Fatima gasped again, her grip slipping. "Yes, you can," Ibrahim answered, though he was coughing hard himself. "Just a few more steps." Outside, the other passengers watched from a safe distance as the entire bus was swallowed by flames. The driver grabbed his radio and begged for help, but everyone knew rescuers would arrive too late. "We have to act now," the young mother cried. Men from the trading post rushed over with buckets and a small fire extinguisher, yet the flames were far too hot, they couldn't get close. Inside, Ibrahim made a quick choice. Doors were lost in the smoke, so he guided Fatima to a side window and smashed it with his elbow. The first hit cracked the glass, the second shattered it. Cool air poured in, but the opening was high and narrow. "There's a window," he told Fatima. "I'll lift you up. People outside will catch you." "What about you?" she whispered. "I'll follow right after," he promised, uncertain he could. Outside, bystanders saw the broken window. "Someone's coming out," a man shouted. Several people gathered below, shielding their faces from the heat, ready to catch whoever appeared. Ibrahim hoisted Fatima up, coughing hard as smoke stung his eyes. "I'm pushing you through," he said. "My son, what is your name?" she asked, suddenly calm. "Ibrahim Traoré," he answered, straining. He shoved her through the window, voices outside called as they caught her. Relief washed over him, but flames now licked the spot where he stood. He tried to climb out, yet the heat had sapped his strength. His vision blurred, and his body grew heavy. The opening that looked reachable a moment ago now seemed miles away. Outside, the men who had caught Fatima were guiding her to safety when she stopped them. "Wait," she cried. "Where is Ibrahim, the man who saved me?" They turned toward the bus, now a wall of fire, but no one else was climbing out. Flames shot through the broken window, blocking any escape. "He's not coming," one man said. The fire's too strong. Fatima wouldn't accept it. Blind and exhausted, she still tried to move toward the burning bus. He saved me, she called. He gave his life for me. Ibrahim. Ibrahim. Just then a figure staggered from the smoke at the front door. Ibrahim had found the main exit. His clothes were scorched, his face black with soot. He dropped to his knees, choking on the air. People rushed to help, but Fatima was already beside him, guided by his coughs. She knelt, touching his face with gentle hands. "You came back," she whispered, tears running down her cheeks. The danger was over, but the shock lingered. The bus behind them burned, showing how close death had been. Passengers gathered around, eyes wide with respect. They had seen a true act of bravery, one stranger risking everything for another. "Are you hurt?" the young mother asked, her baby now quiet. She offered Ibrahim a bottle of water. "I'm fine," he rasped, taking a drink. "Just glad we're alive." Fatima kept her hands on his shoulders, feeling every line of his face with tender care. "You don't know what you have done," she said quietly. Her voice was so calm and heavy that everyone leaned closer to hear. "You don't know how much this means," she said. Ibrahim looked puzzled. "Madam, I just did what anyone would do. I couldn't leave you inside." Fatima smiled, and the years seemed to lift from her face. She almost glowed. "No, my son. Most people would have saved themselves." She kept her hands on his shoulders and spoke clearly. "I lost my sight 20 years ago, in a fire like this." Silence fell. Ibrahim felt a chill, he knew the bus blaze must have been her worst nightmare. "I was home in my village," she went on. "Our house caught fire at night. My husband tried to save me, but he didn't make it. I lived, but the smoke took my sight. For 20 years I've carried the guilt that he died for me." Tears rolled down her cheeks, but her voice stayed steady. "Today you showed me something I forgot. Real love is not dying for someone, it's helping them live, even when you might not." Ibrahim's eyes filled with tears. He had only wanted to help. "My husband loved me," Fatima said. "He died in that fire. Today you loved me too, not as a husband, but as one human to another. And we both lived." She leaned forward and kissed his forehead like a mother blessing a child. "You gave me back my faith in people, Ibrahim Traoré." The crowd stayed silent, many wiping their eyes. They had witnessed more than a rescue, they had seen a heart heal after 2 decades. Fatima's voice softened. "There's one more thing." She reached into her worn bag and took out a small, wrapped package. Fatima ran her fingers over the small package, steady and sure, years without sight had trained her hands well. "This is for my daughter," she said, holding it close. "I visit her every month and always bring a little gift so she knows her mother thinks of her every day." She paused, her hands shook. "But today was meant to be my last trip. I'm sick, and the doctors say I don't have much time. I was going to tell her goodbye and give her this final present." Ibrahim's chest tightened. Fatima had already faced so much, and now she was meeting her final days with the same quiet courage she'd shown on the burning bus. "But God had another plan," she went on, her voice steadier. "He sent you to save me, not just from the fire, but from the sadness I've carried for 20 years. You showed me love doesn't stop with death, it keeps living in those who survive." She pressed the package into Ibrahim's hands. "Keep this, not for yourself, but as a reminder of today. Sometimes we end up in the right place at the right time so we can help heal someone else." Ibrahim shook his head. "Madam, I can't. It's for your daughter. She'll understand," Fatima said firmly. "Love grows when it's shared." With help from the young mother, she stood. "I have one more journey to make. Now I face it with peace, knowing there are still heroes in this world." As the emergency crew finally arrived, Fatima turned to Ibrahim one last time. Thank you for showing me love is about living, about keeping goodness alive. Then she walked toward another bus, her cane tapping softly on the ground. Ibrahim watched, the small package in his hands. The burned-out bus behind him showed how fast life can change, but everyone who saw what happened would remember something brighter. In the worst moments, human kindness can shine the most.